Support for WCBU's On Deck comes from Jaguar Land Rover Peoria on Allen Road. Special offers available on nearly every new Jaguar with personalized service throughout purchasing and ownership. Jaguar, a proud luxury and performance brand. More at jaguarlandroverpeoria.com.
Tazewell County voters may find the future of the auditor position on the ballot in November. That's just one of the things you'll want to hear about to start your day for Thursday, May 23rd. I'm Colin Shope, and this is WCBU's On Deck. First on deck today, some of the Tri-County area's contaminated properties are on the path to a new use, with a grant from the Environmental Protection Agency. The Tri-County Regional Planning Commission is the recipient of the $500,000 grant. Executive Director Eric Miller says the funds are for studies on the possible reuse of brownfields around the Tri-County area.
The brownfields are quite simply sort of an underutilized piece of property. Could be a vacant lot with maybe some environmental concerns. Could be, like I said, an old factory that is no longer being used or being underused.
Some Peoria area brownfields include the site of the old Harrison School and the Butternut Bread Bakery. Miller says the commission will hire a consultant to conduct studies on as many as 15 sites in all three counties and develop general plans.
To hopefully take those properties and be able to remediate those properties and put them to a higher and better use.
Miller says those recommendations could be anything, commercial, residential, or industrial, depending on the state of the brownfield. From there, it will be on the property owners and municipalities to enact the plans. Here are some other stories we're following in the WCBU newsroom. Woodford County is now a, quote, non-sanctuary county for undocumented migrants. And with time running out in their spring legislative session, advocates and lawmakers are pushing to regulate carbon capture technology. And Illinois lawmakers have passed some updates to the state's child labor laws. Plus, some employees at the Illinois Capitol are turning up the heat as they try to unionize. You can find more of these stories and all the details at WCBU.org. Tazewell County voters opted to continue electing their auditor in 2018. Now they could be asked if they want to keep the office at all. WCBU's Joe Deacon reports.
The County Board's Executive Committee recently held discussions on the possibility of placing a referendum to eliminate the auditor's office on the November ballot. Board Chairman Dave Zimmerman explains his decision to revisit the matter.
I had several board members reach out to me and ask if I would be willing to put this back on the ballot, or at least for discussion. We did try to pass this in the past, and we were unsuccessful.
Zimmerman is not seeking another term as board chair, and current auditor Brett Grimm is in line to succeed him in that role as the unopposed Republican nominee. Zimmerman says this transition presents a renewed opportunity to consider whether the position is needed.
It's not like we're ousting an incumbent, so this is kind of a good time to do it.
Before Grimm was elected 4 years ago to replace Shelley Franca, he was on the county board when the 2018 referendum saw 57% of voters choose to keep the auditor as an elected office.
For me, it was a great opportunity to say, okay, if the voters wanted to keep it, then, how can we make this better?
Grimm says deciding how to handle the auditor's office is a topic he would rather deal with in a couple years.
I'm not 100% sure where I fall on it, because the voters had wanted it back in 2018, and I can argue it both ways. I can see the benefits of keeping it, and I can certainly see the benefits of having somebody with certifications in that role. But I think now is not the right time to do it.
Bill Funkhauser is the presumptive auditor-elect after winning the GOP primary with no Democrat currently in the race. He says the county auditor functions as a safeguard for taxpayers.
I do not expect to see any nefarious activities. Tazewell County is a pretty well-run county. But that being said, there needs to be some independent eyes looking at the information.
Grimm says he would prefer to see Funkhauser get into the auditor's office and assess it before any decision to eliminate it is made.
I think it needs somebody who is actually qualified and impartial to come in, look at it for a couple of years, and then talk to him about what he thinks. Because right now I think that the people that are doing it are too close to the issue or have too much of a past.
Under Illinois statute, only counties with more than 75,000 residents qualify to have an elected auditor. Only 16 Illinois counties currently have elected auditors, and the only requirements are to be 18 years old and a county resident. Zimmerman notes that Peoria County voted to eliminate its auditor in 2022, and he anticipates following Peoria County's model on absorbing the auditor's duties.
The auditor's office, quite frankly, in Tazewell County doesn't have a lot of responsibilities, only those that are statutorily mandated that they have. And we feel like we can pick up many of those functions by using our outside auditor, which we're required by law to bring in every year, and with our finance department randomly auditing offices like the current auditor does.
Funkhauser, a licensed certified public accountant, admits he has a vested interest, but he feels he should have the opportunity to show the value of a county auditor.
If the county board members don't feel that there's a need for a county auditor, that's one thing. If the county board members feel that there is a need, but that they have difficulty attracting qualified candidates, then that's a different story.
Zimmerman says he expects the proposal to put a referendum on the ballot will go before the full Tazewell County Board at its June meeting. For WCBU's On Deck, I'm Joe Deacon.
Now, before we let you go, an opportunity to learn about the history of the bobcat in Illinois at the Chillicothe Public Library tonight. From 6 to 7 p.m., a PhD student from Southern Illinois University will discuss their work studying the species in north central Illinois. The event is free. And that's all for today. You can subscribe to WCBU's On Deck podcast on the NPR app, Apple, or Spotify.